Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly Reframe. It started a bit of an accident. I accidentally cut off the previous recording, so I don't know. I think it closes off. You can't really open it again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bear with me a moment because nobody will be able to join. So I'm going to share this again. Okay, but at least I will have it recorded and it will go on the on my links and people can replay after. Never mind, these things happen. Don't know what it is now. Take two happening now. This one is the one. Let me see if I can share it again. You will see people walking past me. Some of my family members are going away and they are just leaving the house in a second. So I will be able to edit all this after, but it's okay. 1 second. Because I don't think nobody has this link now. Okay. Here. This is very strange, but never mind this. Anyway, I'm just gonna do it because I don't know why saving it. Post. No, right. Okay, let's start. Right, so welcome to the weekly Reframe, everyone. So I shared last week how I started this, and why I started this is because I wanted to offer this space for me and for you to grow. And I believe that by sharing my approach, hopefully you will get to see from a different perspective and to really, hopefully start doing things differently. In the podcast episode that I took part, my first ever podcast episode, I shared the definition of insanity is doing always the same and expecting different results. And I think this is what we do. We don't realize, but we work on subconscious programming that we are not even aware we do it. That's why it helps so much to work with somebody, so they can help us identify those. So another quote I learned recently actually is we can't read the label from inside the jar. And it's spot on, I think, because many times we are so involved in our problems. So I think this is something really useful. Okay, how these sessions work for anyone that is new here is I received questions from people, and I've had two for this week. And what I do is I answer from my perspective. So I know this space doesn't allow me to coach, and I am a certified coach. I combine a bit of mindset, neuroscience, emotional and nervous system regulation, and spirituality as well. Hopefully you'll get an idea of what's actually possible when we start at least reframing, which is something that through this interaction you can grasp. I believe we are all powerful creators, vessels, and we have to believe that life is magic, really, and that it happens for us, not to us. That's the main shift that we can start applying. I've lived most of my life from a victim mentality without realizing, because I grew up in such environment, and this is what most of society really sells. the news. Everything is pretty catastrophic. And yeah, so I think this is a very basic shift that we can start doing. What I learned and what I live by and pass on to clients, and I hope this reaches more and more people, is really not to do more, but to just be more present, be open to the opportunities, and take aligned action. And this is where the neuroscience bit comes in as well. There are certain parts of the brain that we use in a certain way. And when we start being aware of this, life can really, we can really create a different reality. But we have to unbecome who we became to survive so far. Anyway, I love being here. It's the third week on now. It's getting easier and easier, apart from this accident I had at the beginning. But again, it's good because now I learn that this happens when you close the studio by mistake. You can't really go back to it on StreamYard. Practice makes progress, and this is another a good reframe. We used to learn practice makes perfect, and that is really outdated, puts too much pressure on us, and it's not even human. So I love that. If you want to start anything, or you have a goal, a dream, start doing it little by little. You'll get better at it. I've received great feedback so far. So please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments during the live. I don't think this one is going to be possible because I don't know if anyone is really joining me on this new link. And let's make it interactive if possible. Thank you so much for being here again and trusting me, and most of all for trusting yourselves. Right, so if you want to send any questions for next week, please, there is the link somewhere on my featured, and normally I put it back on the link. So yeah, I look forward to receiving that. So let's move on to the first question. I put it here on the screen. Question 1. I keep falling for the same kind of relationship with men where I don't feel valued. It's all good during the first months, but then it falls into a pattern of sacrificing myself. Thank you so much for sharing this question. It sounds like it's quite a difficult place to be. There were two parts to this question. The second part is how is affecting you emotionally or practically. It continues. At first, I think I'll just go with the flow, but after a while, I realized nobody cares about me. Now my family is leaving. So I suffer from migraines and back pain. I'm not sure if this is related. And the last part is, what would you love to change or shift about this, even if you're not sure how? I would love to feel valued, like I matter too. Ciao. This is something I hear so often, especially in women. And it sounds familiar, right? But I'm sure to many of you, this was certainly showing up for me. And then this starts to show up in the body, migraines, back pain, all sorts of symptoms. Maybe even get them all checked and everything is fine on the markers, the medical markers, especially in our Western medical system. Maybe they'll tell you it's stress, but deep down there is always more. Our bodies speak to us. Physical pain is never just physical. It's often our body processing what our mind has pushed down for too long. These symptoms are not random. They can be your nervous system holding on to unspoken sadness, pressure, emotional shutdown, or even anger. And you said it already, the deep subconscious message is, I don't matter, my needs don't matter. You mentioned you go with the flow, but is saying I'm easy really true flow? I would say it's self-abandonment. and the body protests. So I want to gently ask you, where did you learn that your needs didn't matter? What happened back in childhood? For many people, there was an emotional gap in childhood or even trauma. And here I want to cover this. Trauma is not really about what happened, but how we interpreted and coped with what happened. When we are little, we have less resources, and the way it can impact depends on many factors. So maybe a primary caregiver wasn't fully present, or a sibling needed more attention, or maybe you were the eldest and you had to grow up quickly, even taking on the role of carer because of an unpredictable environment. And that was my case. It could also be because one of the main carers was not there. But you get the idea. When these things happen, what we do, we adapt. We learn to become invisible, to suppress our needs, to be helpful, to not be a problem. It's okay, I'll be fine. We say, I don't want to be a burden. I want to make it easier for everyone. And the narratives we install in our operating system are along these lines. Those messages become our reality. But that's not who you really are. That's who you became to survive. And now what do? You're still living with those patterns. You're not doing it consciously. It is subconscious. It's imprinted in the nervous system. It's safety programming from the past. So what we do, we overcompensate. You show up for others, even when you are depleted. And this happens so much for women when we have this societal legacy that we have to be everyone carers, but we don't look after ourselves. We start to ignore red flags, wait for people to choose us back. And then you feel resentful when they don't. That happens so much as well. And even in working environments, like we overachieve, bent over backwards are the ones having all the excellent outcomes, but then we wait for outside external recognition and validation. So this is where things can shift, because with awareness, we have power. But let me tell you, these patterns, as much as they are painful, they are a gift. These are real wake-up calls. They are an invitation to ask, where did this begin? And do I still need to live from that place? And the answer is no, you don't. You get to choose something new every moment. Not every day or not every month, every Monday, every moment, no matter what's happened, we get to choose something new. So it's all about, it's deeper than this, but really it's about putting this new language in the operating system. My needs matter, my voice matters, and I am allowed to take up space. Even I bloody choose to take space because other people need my brilliance, other people need your gift, your talent. That's why I love guiding people through these transformations. Not everyone is like this from the start. It depends what we've been through, but there is a huge contrast from sometimes when we start like this and then we can see how we can make someone thrive. It's amazing, really. This is where my passion lies, really. So when we make a painful situation into a gift, changing that programming, it doesn't happen overnight, and it's not as simple as using positive affirmations. That alone doesn't work. With practice, with presence, with honesty, coming to the body, you will start to see your life change. So I invite you to pause, to listen to your body, to notice where you are giving too much, to question the story that says you are too much or not enough. or hard to love, because that story is not you. That's an old adaptation and it's ready to go. Because when these symptoms start showing up, it's really our body not wanting to take anymore. I'm going to cover another time some stages of disease, and 6 stages of disease according to Ayurveda. And really the first stage is like we still can get, like the symptoms, catch the symptoms really timely. So I invite you to audit your life and see where you feel that you are having to prove yourself, settling, or begging to be chosen. Tune into your body. And there is a brilliant series on Netflix called Envious. It happens to be from Argentina, where I come from, and the main character is living her life from the fear of being abandoned, replaying an old trauma, and therefore attracting relationships and situations where this perpetuates. The work really calls for us to see these patterns, work through them, and then we liberate ourselves. And it's work in progress. It's not magic. It's not a magic fix. So I hope this resonates. And of course, I am here to work more in depth with you if you'd like me to. Thank you. Now the second question. The second question is, I've been struggling with my weight for too long, and I'd like to understand what's going on, as everything I tried doesn't seem to stick. So I'm putting this question I received through a DM, as I recently started sharing that I'm working on this program to finally not just achieve the body of your dreams, but to feel energized, strong, and happy in your own skin. Then the body follows. The question is simple and it's so habitual. In fact, think within your circle, who might be this person? If not you directly, very likely somebody you know. So thank you so much for sharing this question. I'm glad this person reached out. I'm glad you reached out, and we already talked about it, but I'll share this publicly. You do not struggle with your weight. You struggle with the story you have about it. We are constantly creating resistance to a programming that we have installed. And as long as we are not aware of it, we will continue to operate from that operating system. When we say I'm overweight, that's a concept created in our minds. Really, the conscious self, the soul, the true self that we are doesn't use that language. It's really a statement from the mind. The mind also where we have this ego coping mechanisms. This is what we're trying to dissolve, really. Because if we were to describe the qualities of our true self, our soul, these qualities are more along the lines of infinity possibilities, pure love, abundance. So imagine everything expanding and radiating. And we are all like this, all of us. Because I say my work is also based on psychology. Carl Jung believed that we all carry something unique and powerful within us. I call it being extraordinary. We just choose to live an ordinary life, fitting in, chasing somebody else's goals and idea of success, but we are not meant to fit in. The world would be around, the work would be around exploring as well what this person does for a living, if this person is fulfilled in their job, in their relationships. What usually resurfaces in this work is that we are carrying our history behind and therefore creating a present, future according to it. So something that happened in the past that we keep perpetuating, but we are not aware. Our unique self, not the one that the ego built to protect us, doesn't want to keep carrying all this baggage. And this baggage, that emotional baggage, is reflected in the body. You're literally holding on subconsciously to whatever happened to you in the past. So again, trauma and past experiences, especially if they are unprocessed trauma, shape our presence through energy patterns. And in this case is the pattern of holding. Also, I'm going to expand this on another occasion because I'm aware of the time, but today, this one holding, there is this core idea that there is tension and suppression of some emotions. Why? Because of this past pain or unmet needs that we couldn't voice. So why it happens is a survival mechanism to avoid that pain or avoid rejection. It's a way of protecting us from similar future harm. So how to start working through it? By bringing conscious awareness to release through the truth. So we'll work through really what's happened without going into a lot of detail. It doesn't mean having to relive all the experiences. It's about being like curious observers and really pinpointing where these things that keep repeating now started. So it requires to work a little bit more in depth, but that's why I recommend personalized work, because there's only so much you can do with general information, and you can do a lot, but there comes this point where the blind spots you can't really see. So going back to this case, can you see that you're holding both emotionally, physically, and psychologically as well? You are likely being a victim of your history. You're being defined by a history that is over because it's in the past. And here also is about holding space and a lot of empathy and compassion for what's happened, not to dismiss what's happened, but there is a point where we really, the soul doesn't want to be carrying all this burden. So, and dragging it around with us. So thank you. I hope this was useful. I wanted to use this last 5 minutes. I know the video is going to be shorter because of the 6 minutes it took me to figure out what's happened at the beginning, but I'm going to finish 1:30. I am launching this program on Monday about reclaiming the body, your body, with your mind. So for anyone that is feeling like they are achieving anything they set their minds to, like their goals, and they maybe have the role or the career, the money, all the success markers on paper, but still are holding on to weight. I would like to invite everyone identifying with this to stay tuned to Monday, and I'm going to keep talking about it because I've designed a program to work exactly through this. It's going to be personalized one-to-one. I'm going to do it in 12 weeks, but we can, obviously, because it's bespoke, we can really work through it. I designed a methodology to tackle exactly more or less what I covered today, but we'll go in depth in these one-to-ones. And I can't wait to share it with you all. And it's going to have an amazing offer, really, in terms of price and investment in yourself for the month of June. So really stay tuned. And yes, I'm going to be reaching out to people as well to see if they're interested, because like I said at the beginning, if it's not you directly, I'm sure there is somebody that you know that might be interested. So yeah, that's it for now. Another thing I'm going to take a chance to say and invite everyone to do is to start paying attention to your triggers. So in your daily interactions with work, managers, clients, family members, your kids. Kids are honestly if you have children, they are the wise little people that honestly show us where we are really holding on to these old stories or history. And it's an invitation really to tune into them, because they have a lot of answers for us. They can help us unlock all the answers within us. So yes, so just that, pay attention to what boils your blood, what triggers you, what really feel like you roll your eyes and you're like, I can really, I don't know, like you get the idea, no? Whatever causes you stress and anxiety, and like you want to kick everything around you, destroy, like lots of these feelings come, and it's so okay to have them. It's healthy, because again, it's that little, well, not little, our huge potential wanting to come out, and we're not letting it, because as much as we are suppressing the emotion, we are also suppressing the great potential. So really is liberating when we tackle this. So I'll leave you with this, and let's see if this has worked, because at the beginning I don't know what's happened. I mean, I know, but I don't know if this is gonna be recorded. Hopefully it will. And yeah, I'm gonna be sharing for people to watch on replay if nobody joined. So thank you so much. Have a lovely weekend. I'm going to enjoy now the last few days before I go back to the UK. I believe it's been raining, and that's okay. That's another thing that another time I'll share how I coped with the weather in the UK, especially if you are not born there. Is something that many people find it a shock. But I am totally okay with the UK weather now, and I'll share another time. Have a really good weekend. Enjoy. Bye.